brilliant people. So today's question is, why is intuition so powerful? Well, it's a good question, isn't it? Why is your intuition so powerful? One of the simplest explanations is, paradoxically, that when we're working with our left brain logic works most effectively for most of us when we're dealing with very simple things. Do I want to have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee? Whatever. Can I afford to buy an extra cup of coffee this week? Whatever it is. These are very simple questions. But your intuition is able to work with much more complex questions. And that's because your intuition is working with the patterns of your integrity, the patterns of your life. And so in a pattern, of course, there is much more than just one single point of data or even a handful of bits and pieces of data. We can figure out how to line up all sorts of data into one pattern. So, for example, a much more complex question is, how is another cup of coffee going to affect my health or going to affect my day? That's a much more complex question because there's a lot more that goes into it. So that's the simplest reason why your intuition is so powerful. But if we dig down into that a little bit, we start to understand it, because often when we're looking at logic, because logic, our left brain thinking is often dealing with either the internal, like, I'm feeling this way, what am I, if I'm feeling sad, I need to have a good cry. If I'm feeling angry, I need to go and do something about it. That's sort of working with our internal logic, like trying to figure out what we want and how things are going to work for us. Or it tends to work with extrinsic logic, like, okay, so if I need to drive to Sydney tomorrow, what is the traffic going to be like? It's probably going to be a little bit easier than normal because currently we're in school holidays, but it's Friday, so that might make things a bit tricky. Also, I don't know, people might be out doing their Christmas shopping. So, but we're trying to navigate those extrinsic things. And by extrinsic, I mean things outside of ourselves. But your intuition, the ways that your intuition works when it is at its most powerful, is we are checking inside for what it is that we want that's going to work for us. And then it's not that we're projecting that outside, but we're allowing the outside to give us that feedback as to where the most elegant, the most aligned path is going to be for us to achieve that. And that's why your intuition is really good at producing things like synchronicity. That's the word, synchronicity. So everything is lined up. So you tune into your intuition, and then you end up leaving home just in that moment when your intuition, it just feels right, and then you hit every green light. That's how your intuition works. It's using your internal alignment as a reference point and then feeling into what's out there so that you can find where your insides and the outside, like so the intrinsic and the extrinsic, line up, and that's how it creates those powerful results. So when you're observing your own intuition, see if you can start to make that distinction between whether the intuition is coming from inside or is coming from outside, or it's actually coming from the alignment of both. Because when you've got both, you'll know that your intuition is at its most powerful, and so you'll remember that you're brilliant. Oh, and I nearly forgot. We're coming up to Christmas, of course. So over the next few weeks, or a couple of weeks, whatever, the videos are going to be a little bit random, but I'm going to be putting up some videos like meditations for the end of the year and a few little processes for completing the year and getting ourselves set for the new year. So watch out for those. And as I said, remember that you're brilliant.